The birth of a child to many is one of the greatest miracles a human being can experience in their lifetime. In the vastness of the universe, two parents are able to create a spark of life that will be able to talk, read, and create works of art, and then someday have their own children. The circle of life. But for a small number of people, the birth of a child can only be summarized as a nightmare. My girlfriend and I had only been dating for about 2 months when she sat me down and said she needed to have a serious talk. Right away I knew what it was. You can just feel these things inside of you like a sixth sense deep in your brain. She told me she was pregnant. I didn't know what to say at first. I was only 25 and had huge goals in my life I hadn't even started yet. And please don't lecture me about protection. We used it, and it somehow failed. She told me right away whatever my decision was, she wanted to keep the child. I thought to myself for a second and realized I did enjoy being with this woman, and I guess I could give things a chance and see how they were. Who knows? Maybe having a family would bring some joy into my life. After 9 months of doctor's appointments and classes, it was finally time for our child's birth. We found out a couple of weeks before that our child was a boy. I was pretty excited, to be honest, but the delivery didn't go so well. Something was wrong with my girlfriend Megan. She looked pale, almost like there was no blood in her. The nurses kept trying to keep her awake and make her push, but she just couldn't. Suddenly, all kinds of alarms were going off. I knew something was wrong as 5 different doctors rushed in. They told me to wait outside and things would be fine. But things were not fine. Megan died at around 3 a.m. on a Friday night. But the baby lived. In a matter of seconds, I had become a single father. Something I was in no way ready for. Another thing I wasn't ready for was learning the baby had a very rare condition called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. It made his skin look wrinkled and deformed like an old man. The following weeks were some of the hardest of my life. I couldn't even name the kid. To me, he was just a thing. I couldn't even look him in the face. He had a monster-like face and his crying was non-human. One night I was asleep when I suddenly heard footsteps walking down my hallway. I quickly got up only to see the child standing in the doorway, watching me. It was impossible. No baby only 3 weeks old could start walking like this. I called my doctor the next day and explained the odd situation. He also said it was impossible for the baby to walk and maybe I was just seeing things in my sleep. Yeah, I said, maybe. I hated feeding the thing more than anything. It wouldn't eat any kind of human food or baby food. It just screamed and screamed. One day I was cutting some carrots and I cut my finger pretty deep. Blood had spilled all over the floor and I went to go get a Band-Aid. When I came back, the thing was on the floor, licking the blood clean off the tile. This thing was not human. The next night I closed the thing's door and then closed my own door. I turned on the audio baby monitor just in case. At around 3 a.m., the baby monitor started to go off. What I heard sent my heart rattling in my chest. I heard talking. some kind of whispering. Suddenly, the baby's door opened. I heard its small footsteps walking down the hallway, and then it knocked. At this point, I thought someone else had to be in the house playing games with me. I got my baseball bat and made my way to the door. I slowly opened it, and nothing. I walked down the hallway with my bat ready to swing. I heard a creak behind me and swung as hard as I could. I had hit something. I turned on the light and was shocked. I had hit the thing. But the thing had grew to almost 5 feet overnight. It seemed dead. No breathing, no moving, no screaming. I was terrified, yet I felt a small ember of joy inside me. A spark of happiness that this thing was dead. I buried it in a landfill not too far from my house. For the first year, I was paranoid someone would find out what I did. But no one ever asked. Not even my family. No one wanted to know what happened to that demon baby. No one cared. 5 years later, I met the love of my life, and we got married. She was everything I could ask for, and we wanted to have a baby, to start a real family. But she couldn't get pregnant. We tried and tried for months, and nothing. Not even a miscarriage. I went to the doctors to make sure I was fine and have some tests done. The doctor came in and he said I was sterile. I was confused, but he said I was sterile, and I most likely have been all my life. I was stunned. I couldn't talk. I couldn't think. I just thought of the thing. Later that night, I laid in bed in a storm of thoughts. If that thing wasn't my baby, whose was it? My ex-girlfriend Megan had once complained about our old house being haunted, but I just brushed it off. Is it possible that... No, it's impossible. My wife kissed me and said not to worry. We'd find a way to start our family, and we went to sleep. Around 3 a.m. that night, I heard crying of a baby, and footsteps coming down our hallway. The thing was back.